Hey everybody, this is Chris with Drop Dice. So we are back again with Legend of the Five Rings. I've got my players. We've had a little bit of change in the casting. Nate, who was playing our Yogo caster, will unfortunately, due to some work conflicts, not be able to join us anymore. But let's go ahead and talk with our remaining cast members, and we're going to still continue the game regardless. Starting with Brendan, if you'd like to go ahead and introduce yourself.
Hello, it's me, Brendan, and I'm still playing Tsubasa, the blacksmith,
Okay.
and Ninja Survivor.
And Ninja Survivor. We'll get to that in the recap here. Next up is Jeremy.
Hey, what's up? Jeremy here. Kamori Dietrich, Bat Clan guy here. I'm the true ninja survivor. Yeah, that's right, Brendan. Don't try to take my thunder.
Okay, and Murdoch.
I'm playing Kikita Toshiro, and I'm the Ninja Discoverer because, it's only paranoia if you're wrong.
That is true. All right, and Tom.
Hi, I'm Tom. I'm playing Miyamoto Kaji, resident dragon dual wielder, and I'm ninja ambivalent. I really didn't have much to do with that situation.
That is fair enough. So last week we decided that we were going to start doing recaps as letters. Unfortunately, fortunately, all of my players decided it would be best not to write home about discovering ninjas. So nobody wrote a letter home until they've decided that they've reached a comfortable point that they are willing to share some information with their family members for their safety. Instead, we're going to do a recap. Tom, since you did the recap last time, I'd like to have it not be you. Who would like to do that recap? Don't everybody volunteer at once.
I would love to volunteer, but I'm always bad with recaps. I mean, I can recap a bit.
Well, you had a really big section with your.
Yeah, like I said, I can recap a bit.
Yeah, go ahead and do the recap, Jeremy. And then we'll fill in blinks as we need.
No, I won't lie. I don't remember everything. I only mostly remember my parts because that's all I care about, really. No, seriously, because those are the only ones that stand out in my head, and just like trying to remember off the top of my head is never the best thing for me. But recap-wise, I know we tried to figure out something to do with the baby kappas. Kakita over there used his connection with the connection. I'm not really sure how far it is, 100%. With the Iron Fans to watch over the babies for a night while we're in Tosha Rambo right now because we were going to take them out again in the morning. They were reluctant, but hey, we kind of at least got away with it for a night. On my end, I met a lovely lady running a restaurant that features delights from my homeland in the Bat Clan, and she happened to know Ranmaru, the reason I'm here in the first place with the Bat Clan Shugenja who was in Tosha Rambo. I met Bats, all that. It was a good time all around. While actually at the castle itself, we, due to Toshiro's, well, he wouldn't say paranoia because of his weird ways. I'm still paranoid, no matter which way you look at it. Ninja was discovered. Ninja tried running away. I, being the boss that I am, chased down the ninja. Got my ass heavily handed to me. You know what? I put a fucking comma into his shoulder. He's gonna feel it tomorrow. But then there was like some recap off screen that we're not all part of that we find that he died anyway, so I'll never get my real revenge. But hey, whatever. Also, that captain sucks.
All right, that was pretty accurate. The only thing else that stands out is you guys made the discovery that the Iron Fans were kind of getting themselves in place to basically be super proactive if tomorrow's treaties don't work out correctly.
It was the treaties. I knew it was something I was forgetting.
And you also discovered a scroll that had a secret message on it that said, Otomo, you are to carry out your mission tonight. Failure is not an option. And that was on a scroll that required a necklace that Lord Otomo had dropped when he got shuffled back to his room for safety.
It was a
But you
poisonous
guys-
scroll.
Yes, the scroll itself was lined with. Actually, no, sorry. The scroll itself was not lined with poison. The chemical that you guys detected on there was actually the invisible ink. Lord Otomo just fainted.
Oh,
It wasn't anything to do with like poison.
Damn.
But this is pretty substantial proof that that Lord Otomo has been at least a part of the problems that are here. And this is kind of what you guys were looking for during your time. I have to apologize. I ate pizza and I love having crushed red peppers, so my nose is all runny right now. But yeah, you guys are in the courtyard after the ninjas attack. Komori Dietrich has been patched up. He has received some pretty bad poisoning, and the male Shugenja from the Phoenix Clan is actually going to be administering some medical care for Komori to remove.
I've already done that.
Yes, you did initial medical care. What he's doing is shooting the house, so he's using spells and things like that. Okay. So after a few spells, Komori, you are back up. For now, we're going to say you're full, so you don't have to worry about your hit points. And you guys have kind of secured the courtyard and investigated the fake guards, which you all know to be the Iron Fans.
Mm-hmm.
What would you like to do next?
Ooh, interesting question.
The governor was already carried back up to the palace, right?
He was escorted off by one of the servants once he fainted. Basically, they brought him back up, and he was pulled away into his room and kind of locked up. When he left, that's when he dropped the necklace that he was wearing.
So if he wakes back up, he's going to be busy with something tonight.
If you mean he's already awake?
How long did I think he would wake up with that poison, Chris?
He was not poisoned. He fainted.
Oh,
He is awake.
okay.
He was taken to his room.
Oh, okay.
Well,
I thought he was brought up.
The
Okay.
substance on the paper was invisible ink.
Okay. I figured that. Okay.
well, before the unpleasantness occurred, we had planned on going to the shrine to clear it out so that the Kaphas may no longer be tainted. However, certain things may take precedence, I think.
Probably so.
What?
I'd still like to. Cutting off the head of the snake is probably more important in this matter. I don't believe that Lord Otomo is the head of this snake.
No, otherwise the orders wouldn't. Otherwise the paper wouldn't make sense.
Well,
Message did say his orders.
the orders may not be for Lord Otomo, but for Captain Otomo. They could have been intercepted.
So you're implying he might be part of this?
I'm not implying anything. Merely stating where logic will bring you. It didn't say Lord Otomo. It didn't give a first name. It simply said Otomo. There's a large Otomo family. Any one of them could be involved.
Yes, but this parchment was being delivered directly to the Lord Otomo.
It was being delivered to Lord Otomo. Maybe he was reviewing correspondence. Do you write every piece of correspondence you send?
Yes.
Well, then you're in the minority.
Kaji will just shrug at that.
Most official correspondence is written by the servants and whatnot, and then given the rubber stamp, so to speak, or, excuse me, that would not be an appropriate idiom to use, and then given a looking over by the individual's name that is attached to it, and then it is sent out.
You could have used seal of approval, Murdoch. I think that would have worked.
Kaji will just sort of like blink dully at that. It's like, so that's what officials do? Seems very complicated.
They seem to like it to be complicated. I much prefer the direct method. He'll tap his chair.
I think we're all in agreement.
Yeah.
So then, which way do we go? If it's the way you suggest, we intercept the correspondence and it will not be carried, or the correspondence was delivered to Lord
Either
Otomo.
way, we know Lord Otomo has some information, and it may be beneficial. The Shiginja are here with us, right? The Phoenix Shiginja?
Yes.
The Jade Magistrates.
Either way, they say they're Emerald Magistrates.
Emerald, that's right. Sorry.
It
Emerald.
is only
That was my fault,
Toshiro,
messed that up.
it is only I that have ever called them a Jade Magistrate.
No, it was my fault. It was my fault. I was calling it wrong. I meant to say Emerald. Sorry.
I believe that questioning Lord Otomo might be the best option we have. Though, I don't think that questioning him the normal way will be of
Effective.
use.
You can't
Then,
just torture. And he says that with he says that with a bit of disgust in saying it like that, because he doesn't know what the hell you were going. He doesn't know what you were going for. So that's why he's saying it like that.
At the moment you say that, because we're still samurai, Kakita pops out a fan and he just looks at you disgusted, and until he brings the fan up to his face and he says, quite honest, he says,
Yeah. After
well,
he says,
well,
yeah.
torture may be eventually required. I intended only to initially, or I intend for us to frighten him.
Yeah.
The way that his ninja comrades would if one of them was discovered and killed while he was using them.
this has to go through the magistrates. This isn't within our duties, and it's not within our powers.
I look at the magistrates and say, I don't think this is within their powers either. Peace
Actually,
is our purview. This is well within our powers.
Actually, it is within the magistrate's powers. That's what their function is. You're here for treaty signing and establishing peace, but it doesn't necessarily mean that you have to do anything to, or that you are obligated to, or have the right to carry out interrogations in the name of peace. You're here for treaty purposes.
Who said I would do that?
You are not obligated, entitled to, or privy to investigative purposes. Once it becomes a crime, it's out of your hands. You can't scare him and use that information at that point.
I'll turn to the magistrate who's there, the Phoenix, I guess, who's been listening to this.
Correct.
Is there any way in which we can help you, Lord Magistrate? Or whatever the proper term to call him is.
For now, ensure that the castle remains locked up. We have things that we must attend to. I believe I can trust you to guard his room to ensure that that the Lord Otomo does not leave.
Is Kakita shaking his head?
Yes.
Sorry, I'm outside a screen, so I can't see.
I'll look to Kakita to explain himself.
If we are not required to be here for the interrogation, then we still have other matters to attend to.
Very well. And they will go about their business as Emerald Magistrates and let you guys be. They will start posting up guards around the palace and opening up doors and hallways that you guys have not had access to at all. There's enough confusion here. If you guys wanted to slip off and investigate the rest of the palace, you actually could do so at this point.
Doing so is something that I might be doing.
I believe I would too.
So yeah, it totally is happening. So I'm wanting to figure out what the hell is down on most of these hallways.
Okay.
Well, then I will see you both, if you take off, I will see you both in the morning. I still have other matters to attend to.
That include the shrine.
Does.
Well, if you do insist on doing that tonight, then I guess I will have to join you.
I thought we were. I didn't know we were moving the schedule ahead of time.
Well, that was the plan. That is why I woke you up and drug you outside at this hour. Did you think I knew of the ninja before I saw it?
Sorry, Merrick, that's me just messing up time. Because
No, that's fine.
I swear that ninja thing happened when we came back.
No, you guys were actually just about to head out.
Okay, see, that's why is in my head wrong. I want to. No, I'm going to help out with the shrine thing because that was already my original goal.
Mhm.
That needs to be done before that. I can do the other thing later, another time. Even though this was one of the better opportunities.
Sorry to suggest this, Chris, but I can stay here to keep an eye on things if you'd like, so we don't fall behind on what's happening.
Why does the DM decide if you stay by? It's
No,
up to the
he's
council.
apologizing to Chris for splitting up the
sorry
party.
outside character for
Okay.
suggesting to split the party.
No, that's fine. This is the kind of game that it's okay if you guys do that, so long as it's not like 8 games in a row or some crazy nonsense like that.
I'm not sure how well I can help you all in combat, but I can stick around here and see just what's happening. I'm rather good at that.
Empirical evidence would beg to differ, but if that is what you that is what you desire.
It's not what I desire. It's trying to help in what way I can. If you wish me to come with you, just say the word.
I believe you are right. You should stay here.
All right. I'll see the rest of you in the morning. It's going to be a long night here as well, I can see.
Okay. So, you guys are retrieving your packs because you guys kind of dropped everything once you discovered something was wrong. And the guards are under orders to allow you to pass because you've pretty much gotten the seal of approval from the Emerald Magistrates, so they're okay with you going back and forth.
Okay.
And what would you guys like to do? Are you heading directly to the granary where the
Yes.
Kappa are?
Yes.
Okay.
I have to worry that they'll eat people.
That is absolutely correct. So you guys head through town, and in town, the town has pretty much shut down. Usually, Toshirambo is one of the few cities that has actually kind of a nightlife, if you will. Tonight seems to be rather calm. There's not a lot of people wandering the streets or anything like that, so it's not like you've got anything to worry about there. And it's pretty easy to go through the city without being detected or anybody like following you or even noticing what you're doing. The Jade Pearl Tea House is actually still pretty busy, but that's not a huge surprise for anybody.
Yeah, they were always busy.
Interesting.
Mm-hmm. When you get to the granary, the 2 guards that you guys met earlier have been replaced by 2 more. These guys appear to be younger men, and it doesn't take long for you to convince them that you belong inside, especially considering Kakita has that token. And once you're inside, the men have kind of quarantined off the 2 Kappa. They brought down some boxes, and they put the boxes in kind of like a U shape to pin them up against a wall where they couldn't wander around the room. And the guard that you met earlier, he gets up and he's wearing full regalia at this point. And he sees you and he says, Kakita-sama, and he bows real quickly. Have you come to take your
Packages?
He looks and he goes, packages?
I have.
Most excellent. They have remained quiet for now, but they're squirmy. Let me move the boxes for you. And he starts shuffling boxes out of the way.
Does Miramoto wear pants?
Yes, like whatever would be appropriate on light battle armor.
Do you wear the newer style pants? Kimono,
If he's wearing battle armor, then yeah, he's got pants.
Okay.
Well, crap.
Because that's pretty much what I wear too.
All right. Give me your arms there, Komori.
My arms.
Yes, your arms.
What do you?
He
All
has
this fabric, we're going to put it together.
He actually has stylized short sleeves.
I was going off his picture.
The picture's not perfect.
Yeah.
Because I have incredibly short sleeves.
Because it is very, very, very hard to find. It was not easy. This was the perfect picture except for the style.
Mm-hmm.
So you don't have sleeves.
Essentially.
So none of us are using baggy sleeves.
Nope.
Bagginess is not easy.
The 2 people that had baggy sleeves, one is no longer with us, and the other is at the castle.
Yeah, I know. Do you mind if I take one of these crates?
He goes, no, they're... Here, let me give you an empty one. Those ones are full of grain. Okay. And he'll go over and he'll open up a few cases, and then he'll pick one up, and he goes, and he finds a lid for it, and he hands it to you. We can nail it shut if you want. And he kind of like lingers a long look at them.
Please.
Okay. So they put the 2 Kappa in, and they will actually nail
refill the
box
bowls
shut
for them.
You say that again?
He's going to refill their head bowls.
Yeah. Okay. So yeah, you he sets them in there, nails the lid shut, and he kind of walks out with you, but he carries the box for you. You can tell that he's trying to respect your station as best as he can as basically a citizen soldier. Like, you can tell that he was not brought up as a bushi, which is not terribly uncommon for Ronin. And when he gets you to the door and he says, I wish you the best of luck, Kakita-sama, and he hands you the box.
Thank you. Your name?
Uh, my name is
Bob.
random name that I don't have because my list is gone.
His name is Bob. I put
We'll
my
call
hand
him
on him
Kenta.
and I say,
Kenta.
Bob.
There you go.
Kenta, fine, Kenta. I put my hand on him and say, Kenta, you do your family a great justice. I'm going to look around for one of those carts with whales that people, hold in the front and run with.
Yeah, there's one in the
rickshaw?
alleyway.
Yes, a rickshaw.
A
Carts
rickshaw?
who-
No.
It was like carts with wheels and people run on them like.
There's not a rickshaw, but there is like a delivery cart
Yeah, that's what I'm
in
looking
the alley.
for.
That's in the alley.
I'll put it on there and motion for Kamori to grab it and let's go.
I will do so.
Okay. All right. And I'm just updating a note real quick here. Kamori, could I get your age?
I am 19.
Okay, perfect.
I'm afraid of why you asked my age.
Just needed to know.
It's never a good thing.
And all right, so you guys grab the basket, and the city has been locked down. The guards have been made aware that you guys will be passing, and the guards that are at the gateway this time, you don't have to find ones that you can smuggle out. They know you're coming, and they don't care what you're carrying. They're just like, okay, come on, and they shoo you through the gate before other people see that they're letting you through the gate.
Okay.
All right.
We hastily make our way through the gate with Bat Clan.
Yep.
I refuse to add the Naz.
Okay. So you guys head out, and to get to the shrine, you can avoid the Imperial Legion encampment. However, it will add about an hour worth of time to avoid it, or you can go through it.
Right through it.
Right through. Okay. So you guys come up to the encampment, and at the encampment, they're going to stop you just like they've done every previous time, and they're just going to ask you for your papers.
I give them my papers.
Perfect. They just do a quick look through. They seem happy with it without any real problems, and they wave you through. Just like last time, it is much easier to leave than it is to enter, so they don't make a big deal out of any of you or what you're hauling or anything like that.
Okay. Let's go.
Okay.
Push, push, push.
So-
it's more like pull, pull, pull.
Yeah. So you guys run down the road or head down the road, and the turnoff to get to the shrine is actually quite easy. The whole way to the shrine actually has been very quiet. It's similar to the quietness that you had in the city just after the ninja struck. It's kind of an unsettling quietness to it. Do you have anything that you'd like to do in response to that?
Nope.
Keep my hands on my weapons.
Okay.
I make sure my gauntlet is on. But other than that, I push the thing.
Pull.
Okay. So, as you guys are traveling through, you will hear kind of rustles in the bushes.
Keep my
Continue
eye on the
on.
bushes.
Continue at normal pace.
No, at a hurried pace.
At hurried pace. Okay. As you start kind of hurrying up, the rustling sounds sound like they're kind of hurrying as well. And after a few moments, you're able to determine that they're kind of flanking you on each side, and they're going the same direction you are. The sounds.
I draw my swords.
Okay. They have not moved into the pathway that you guys are traveling. They seem to be traveling through the brush.
Yep. Continue moving.
Okay. As you come out to where the shrine is, the shrine here is this one is a little bit different than the previous shrine that you heard about, the one that was at the mountain. This one is a small lake shrine. And on one side of the lake, there's this large stone that's sitting in the water, and it's got paper wards along the front.
Yeah.
And there's food and things like that. And you see that there are kappa inside the lake. They appear to be playing.
Do these look like normal Kappa?
Go ahead and make a awareness check for me.
Okay. Mm. 15.
15?
Yep.
Okay. With a 15, you are going to know that that their behavior does not appear to be like those that were tainted. From the distance you're at, you can't tell for sure, but they don't look like it as far as what you can see. The things that are kind of flanking you, when you guys get to the clearing, you hear them kind of stop, and they've lingered back a little bit.
I do not see any tainted ones around here.
Let us move on.
Okay. Do you guys continue the hurried pace, or do you kind of slow it down at this point?
I would slow it down.
Okay.
Is that what we want to do?
Well, my thinking is we appear to be among normal Kappa, so I wish not to be threatening.
Okay.
And as I say that, I'll put my swords away.
Also, with the fact that we found normal Kappa, should we not relinquish the babies and then move on to the tainted shrine? Well, sorry, not this shrine that we're going towards. Sorry. There seem to be relatively safe others here.
You hear
I believe it is still prevalent for us to head to the shrine.
you hear kind of like a deep frog croaking sound coming from the bushes where you guys left the pathway into this open area where the lake is. And the rustling kind of happens again, but it doesn't sound like they're following you or trying to come out. It's more like they're shifting impatiently.
I'm not suggesting we don't go to the shrine still. I'm suggesting we open up the crate, let the babies go, and then move on.
No, I think we need to bring them all the way.
But if the shrine is tainted, and this is, well, relatively not, this would be safer for them.
We don't know that the shrine is inherently tainted.
Alright, fine, let's go.
Let's move on.
Okay. So as you approach the shrine, the creatures that were rustling around inside the bushes, kind of lying in wait, they seem to make more movements, and you hear hissing sounds and some like thumping sounds coming from over there. And like one of them actually pokes its head out of the bushes, and you can see that it's one of the tainted kappa, but it like hisses and it fades back into the bushes. When you approach the shrine, the other kappa will kind of swim away from the stone that you guys are approaching.
Real safe, huh?
I say nothing.
All right, let us Are there any other tainted kappa in the area now that we're at the shrine?
Not in the open area where the lake and shrine are, but they do appear to be where you guys just came from, that pathway.
Are there any kappa at the shrine?
The kappa that were at the shrine have swam out a little bit towards the center of the lake, and they're watching you curiously, but they're not doing anything about you.
Okay. Return them.
I'll crack open the box.
Yeah, the kappa that are in the center of the lake will hear the cry of the two young ones, and one of them will kind of swim up a little bit curiously. As you set down the box, it'll kind of like put out a claw and do like this move to the babies, and the babies don't seem to understand, and the kappa like climbs slowly out of the water and gets close to you guys, but it's like hissing at you and trying to get in front of the babies and push them back into the water. Are you guys going to do anything about that, or just kind of let it be an asshole?
I'll back off.
Okay.
I will. Yeah. I mean, I'll back off and let the kappa take care of themselves.
Yeah, it pulls the babies in the water, and then it starts like smelling them and like lifting them up and stuff like that. And it appears that they are okay with the condition that the children are in, because they haven't like done anything to them, like attacked them or anything like that. You're going to hear some more like rustling and hisses from the bushes. The one that kind of poked its head out will poke its head out again, and this time it's like just on the edge of the bushes, but you can clearly see that it will not step foot on the beach sand.
This is the evil kappa?
Mm-hmm.
Maybe the shrine itself has some thing keeping away the tainted ones.
Well,
For Kakita, you may make a lore check, lore Shugenja specifically.
Lore Shugenja. Let me pull out the appropriate amount of dice. Okay. $13.
13. Okay, with a 13, you will know that there are certain areas that tainted creatures just don't go, but you're not entirely certain. You don't seem to recall that lesson as to what would make an area something that a tainted creature wouldn't try to enter.
This is intriguing. I believe I'll try to commune with the spirits.
Okay. Which spirit are you attempting to commune with?
Water, because I was told that the that what's his nuts was not happy. The little mountain or big mountain.
Right. Little mountain, yeah.
Oh Jesus. 26 on my spellcasting check. My dice were 9, 9, 9, 10.
All right, perfect. So, yeah, you with your 26, you're able to ask it a few questions. The spirit comes forward, and it actually comes out of the water and it takes the form of what you would equate to a mermaid Komori, because you're a little bit more familiar with the stories and things like that. For
More
everybody else
tropical
that's
things.
right, for everybody else that's from the rest of Rukagon, it's some sort of fish human monster thing.
Seems legit.
I will just say offhandedly.
It's
never
kind of
seen-
reminiscent of Naga, which is kind of scary.
I will say offhandedly, never thought I'd see a mermaid in person.
I will take a seat.
Okay. She opens her mouth as if to speak to you, but all you hear is kind of the sound of like lapping water, like a riverbank would make, And then she kind of frowns and she takes her hands and she starts doing this. And eventually there's this aqueous orb in front of her. And she kind of looks at you as if cueing you to go ahead and talk.
The rice paddies further down the river. The water is tainted, and there are evil spirits. We were told there was a shrine here where the Kappa are from, and the Kappa did not visit these fields to bless them. We have since discovered evil Kappa. The shrine seems to be a central point of that, and we are trying to figure out what is wrong so that we may fix it.
The spirit nods, and it takes its orb and it pushes it out to you, and it kind of like ripples and floats over to you, and then it lands on the ground and smooths out to where it becomes kind of like enamel paint. It like makes a little pool, and it's really flat, and inside the center of it you start to see an image, and it shows this kind of a dark, shadowy creature. It looks almost wolf-like, but it's a little bigger. And it kind of like runs through this rice field, and it seems to be casting this like storm cloud of shadows behind it. And then it will come up and it will grab a Kappa and just start biting into it, and the Kappa will turn kind of shadowy itself, and then it will turn around and start attacking other Kappa while the wolf moves on and takes over the fields.
Where is this wolf now?
The image kind of goes dark, and then it starts coming back, and you see a wolf, and it looks like it's kind of looking around, and there are trees around it, and it goes inside of a den, and inside there are two pups. But along the walls of this den, it looks like there are markings, things that a wolf couldn't do, like paintings. They're something that you don't recognize, but they're definitely not something that like a wolf claw could like etch or anything like that.
Hmm.
Sorry, Nate is doing something. I don't know what he's doing. Hold on. I'm trying to remember. I thought someone had the nickname of the Wolf or something to that effect.
There was the creator of the Black Ronin group was referred to as the Wolf. He was one of the Four Winds, which I believe his name was Gashi. Have to pull and check. He's really kind of the main person that has been given the name the Wolf.
Okay.
Sorry, it is Tottori Cesaru, the Wolf.
Tottori Cesaru. So not someone that has been involved in this investigation.
Not at all. He was around during
Probably
the Four
dead.
Winds period. Tottori the First was one of Tottori the First's children. He has passed, yes.
All right.
Actually, he passed fairly recently in history. 1169. You guys are in 1200 once again.
1169. Where did he die?
Let me see if I can find that real quick here.
It's not around here, not involved in the story. I'm just grasping at straws.
Yeah, pretty much.
Okay. Okay. So did the wolf also taint the mountain?
Yeah, the next image she shows you is it kind of comes up from the wolf's den, and it shows like the terrain around you, and it seems the clouds have been cast over quite a bit of the land, including Toshi Rambo, and it seems like this lake is the only bastion of light amongst it. So, okay, here's his death, because you may actually find this interesting. Cesaro had gone mad, and he appeared above the capital Toshi Rambo in an apparent maddened state during the Kanmoto Chigata's assault on the city in 1169. Cesaro's alter ego, the Wolf, was destroyed or distracted long enough by Isawa Anagai for her to plunge the Sudaso Tanto, made with shards of Isawa's last wish, into Cesaro, killing him.
What was the name of the weapon?
It is Sudao's Tanto.
We need to find Sudao's Tanto. Is what Kakita will say.
Okay.
I believe we're suffering from the curse of the wolf. The wolf has cursed us, or cursed the land.
Will the rest of us?
I
make
love
that
that.
connection?
Hold on, just out of game. I love that shit lined up.
Yeah. Will we be able to understand this connection he's trying to go for? To be
No,
fair,
not at all.
You know, I know
This
for a fact that
this is like one of the legendary weapons of the realm. Like, he's asking you to find the One Ring here, basically.
just to make sure, is this one of the? Because I know there's the cursed blades and then the non-cursed blades, the whatever.
It's not one of those, but it is pretty much even more rare than those.
Okay.
But do we know where it is?
Yeah, I don't think anybody knows where a lot of those are.
It is
Yeah.
supposedly destroyed.
Well,
We will need Tsubasa, or we will need C to craft a weapon of such craftsmanship that it rivals these legendary weapons, made with the very soul itself, so that we may crush
look,
this
I believe that's
specter
his.
that curses.
While I believe that's his goal, I don't think.
When Engai stabbed Cesaro with it, there was a explosion. The Tanto has been presumed to be destroyed during the explosion, and both Cesaro and Anagai died.
I just love it when shit lines up. I'm sorry. Like, it makes no sense to the story except for the wolf imagery that you came up with. And now A leads to B, leads to C, leads to Red Dragon making a blimp go with a Baylor whipping it. That's what A leads to B, leads to C, leads to that. Yeah. I think the spirit of the wolf may be poisoning the land. The imagery that they can all see the imagery, right?
Yes, they can. You know for a fact that water spirits never speak directly. They always use imagery.
Yes.
Okay.
However, I think in such an instance where such a legendary battle took place, such imagery, such descriptive imagery using a wolf would typically mean that something that happened like that may have something to do with what we need to do to stop it, or the imagery may be used.
Yeah,
Obviously,
I'm just pointing it out because you're making a huge leap to go to super weapon that was destroyed.
absolutely.
Okay.
Toshiro was raised with super things that can destroy.
And you were the only one who thought that way. When you're trying to suggest this whole debacle, proper word, I think is the best fit to the situation. I'm gonna kindly, Laura's gonna kindly tell you, I never heard of this weapon. I think I may have heard of the Tottori guy in in Legend maybe. What does that have to do with any of this?
The fight took place at Toshi Rambo. The wolf the wolf was going mad, and he was it took such a weapon to bring him down, and it may be history repeating itself, which is what the imagery may be showing us. The imagery, the water spirit may be preparing us for such a fight. I know that I am woefully ill-equipped for such a fight. And I don't know that anything beyond weapons that are crafted to be nearly perfect will do well. We may not have time to seek out such a weapon at the moment, but I feel that that is the imagery that is being portrayed. And now, the imagery itself, the weapon may not be a katana or a tanto, but may be our minds. That it must be as sharp as that. When you seek a weapon of legend, typically, at the end of the story, the person discovers the weapon of legend is themselves. And that's what I'm saying, is that we need to seek out this weapon of legend to find it within ourselves to stop this.
That is an interesting way to reach that conclusion.
I was going to go with he's had an idealistic childhood. Okay.
Well, regardless, since we have already reached this conclusion that the true weapon is ourselves, perhaps we can go and perhaps resolve this a bit sooner than...
We need to discover who the wolf is. The wolf had paintings. Can I go to grid 3.24 and enhance?
Enhance the image that's given to you by the water spirit?
I was being funny. I was just. Can I make out the painting?
You just have to point and say enhance over and over again.
No, you're not able to make it out. It's like you can see what it is. It's like this weird scratching, or it's like this weird etching, but it's something that doesn't make sense. Like it's patterns of markings. It's too logical that a wolf or a creature would not have made it, but it doesn't make a logical sense or pattern looking at it.
Okay. Let us...
You do have the ability to ask one more question if you'd like.
Do you all have any questions?
We could ask about why the tainted kappa are not attacking those in this water.
Oh, we already know.
I wasn't given direct information about this.
It's a bastion. It's the only light in the darkness.
All right. Just making sure I got that.
I suppose there's the question, how long do we have? Although I don't know if we could get any kind of reasonable answer from the spirit.
Related to the investigation, something that will help us narrow this down.
As for the source, can't give us any more specific location in actual world.
Other than that, is there any way to clear the taint on the big mountain? It's the only other one I have. I mean, I'm saying to the group, not to the water spirit.
I would assume it would be to remove it at the source, such as the wolf. Of course, maybe perhaps there is something else we could do. This is like how long ago it happened.
By the way, Toshiro, you are not sure exactly what caused Tottori to go mad. You just know kind of the basics of the story, that he had gone mad and that he was killed at Toshi Rambo and everything.
Yep.
Huh.
Hmm. What does the wolf desire the most? I asked the water spirit.
Okay. The water spirit wipes away the image, and inside you see a bedroom of a home not too unfamiliar to you. It's something that feels very close to your own home where you were raised,
Mm-hmm.
but it just doesn't feel quite perfect. And you see like this passing image that kind of shifts from side to side down the hallway, and it like kind of stops and it
Like
turns.
like I'm looking through someone else's eyes.
Exactly. And it turns, and it suddenly becomes a lot clearer to you instead of this kind of shifty image thing. It's a little girl, and she's playing with what looks like a doll, but upon closer looking at it, it's a doll of a bat. There's a great shadow that kind of looms over the little girl, and it just sits above her, like it's going to eat her, but it just doesn't come close enough. It just stays right above, and it doesn't seem to go very much closer. And it has like these tendril fingers that are kind of going down towards the little girl.
I turn
I
to
don't-
both.
I don't suppose that the little girl has any telling symbols on her clothing.
No, not that you can tell.
I don't suppose that this imagery means anything to either one of you.
I might have an idea.
And what's that?
He seems a little bit reluctant before saying it. As you know, we've previously discussed that coming here for the negotiations were not most of ours. No, most of us it was not.
We all had ulterior motives from the different clans. Yes.
Yes. I don't believe I've directly told you my reason for being here. I'm in search for a Shugenja myself. She went missing. She was apparently investigating Lord Otomo himself.
Actually, she was under employment of the house, of
Yes.
the governor's house.
She was under employment, and she was investigating the tank, because, she's
She went to investigate the temple,
the
yes.
temple.
And she thinks it's
Um,
connected to Otomo's condition.
She believed it was connected to his condition, which, we've been a bit more privy to the information about that. Interestingly enough, I found out she had found Old City ruins under. It was Old City ruins, right?
Yes.
Old City ruins under Toshi Rambo.
So as a side note, especially for Toshiro, you know that when a Shugenja goes missing, a clan will typically send a very competent bushi out to go retrieve them, and if that's not something that can be done, they will go to war to try and get their Shugenja back because it's such an asset.
Especially if you know what the Bat Clan Shugenjas are about.
Hmm.
Let us head back and think about this.
Interesting.
Creatures at the shore have kind of lost interest in you guys because you've stayed near the water long enough. You're going to hear them moving away.
As they go somewhere away, should we deal with them? Or are we just going to move on?
The Tainted Kappa?
Yes.
What time of night is it, Chris?
It's about 4 a.m.
Jesus Christ,
you've
how
been
long did it
told
take us to get here?
Take some
it
time,
took a
actually.
couple hours. You guys didn't set out till about 1 a.m.
Well, then we need to head back.
True.
Another time, then.
However, do take care not to drop your guard. I would not pet it past these creatures who try to take advantage of us in the darkness.
Their funeral.
It's early in the year, so it is still fairly dark at 4 a.m. As you guys travel back, you don't have an encounter, but you can clearly hear that the woods have come a little bit more alive. You can hear creatures and things like that moving about, not like tainted Kappa creatures, but like squirrels and stuff like that running around.
Yeah.
Like a fox will pass you in the road and like look at you, and then continue on. Which, by the way, is considered good luck.
It is.
So the journey home is fine. When you get to the Imperial Legionnaires encampment, they check your papers. The guard that's there, he goes, "Oh, I'm sorry, I don't mean to keep you. I know that the treaty is today. Please come through. Do you need an escort? We can get you in the city much faster."
I request to speak to Lord Otomo, or to
Captain Otomo.
Captain Otomo.
I think that's his title.
I believe we can arrange that. Would you like him to meet you at the castle, sir?
I'd like to meet him here if he's available now.
Very well. Let me speak with him. And he bows curtly to you. And then he runs off. This is a vassal family member that was allowed to join the Legion, so he's a Bushi, but you can tell that he's pretty much lived his whole life as a member of the army, because his bow is kind of rigid and everything. He runs off to the captain's tent, which is easy to identify. And after a few moments, the captain will come out. He's a very large man, kind of barrel-chested. And he'll come out and he says, "Ah, my friends, what can I do for you? You are the ones here to ensure a peace between these two lands, yes?"
Yes.
"Most excellent. Please." And he'll wave towards his tent. "If you'd like to speak, I do not want to take much of your time, but I was told that you'd like to speak with me."
Very much so. We have traveled quite a ways. Do you perhaps have tea boiling? Maybe I could make some.
"I do have tea, but unfortunately it is not of courtly quality. You'll have to forgive me." He kind of laughs and kind of smiles openly, and he'll hold open the tent and let you guys in. We're going to shift the camera over to C.
Chris, I'll be right back in a second.
That's fine.
Okay.
Everybody's like, "We're going to the bathroom!"
Yep. For C, your night goes by fairly quietly. After they leave, the place is really shut down, like I said, and you're able to kind of get a little bit of free movement going through the place, and you can investigate some things that you couldn't see in the castle before. So, what would you like to do?
Well, I guess I am going to look around the places that had guards before. You said they're generally, a lot of them have gone now?
They're there, but they're guarding other stuff, like the hallways that were previously blocked and things like that. The guards that were blocking those hallways are now set on the wall, doing other things to kind of block the perimeter.
Okay. They're in defensive position. So yeah, I'll look around those places that used to be guarded before.
Okay.
And I guess I'll try to still look like I belong there, although I don't know at this point.
You don't even really have to try. Nobody's really stopping you. You can kind of sneak around pretty easily. So as you walk down the hallway, there are different rooms inside here. And as you open up doors, if you remember, I said that Komori talked to you about finding a room that was full of rice. When you open up other rooms, it's more rooms full
I
of
found that
rice.
one myself. Yeah.
Oh, okay. I thought it was Komori for some reason. Yeah. So there are more rooms of rice and food, like staples that you would have for the people. Like there's no reason that this much rice should be stored in this place.
I'll start taking stock of the numbers I see in my head, just generally how much I find.
Yeah, it's well over a couple hundred koku, which is quite a large amount, and that's just a couple rooms in. And you get to one room, and this is the room that kind of catches your attention the most and makes you kind of forget what number you were on when you were counting bags, or rather rolls of rice. This room has an ancestor shrine inside of it, and there is like kokus of rice set on one side, and then there are kokus of rice set on the other side. And the rice that are on the other side have this singular black dot on because their kokus are kind of rolled into like a cloth roll thing. On the side, there's like a singular black dot of each roll.
They've been marked.
Yeah, the ones that are on the left-hand side have been marked. The ones that are on the right-hand side have not.
Is there anything else odd about this room that's different from the other two?
Yeah, there's kind of a weird smell in the room. Yeah, at first you kind of equivalate it to incense, but after a little bit it kind of catches you, and it's not quite incense. It's like the smell of like burnt hide. You come from a family that's craftsmen, and so your family would never actually tan hide themselves, but you've been around enough tanners to kind of know that smell.
Yeah, it's the job of the lowest class, if I remember right. It's
Yeah, it
very
is.
dirty work. Can I make some sort of knowledge check to see how working with animal hides might have to do with treating rice? Or
Yeah, you could make a crafts check.
some
I think
explanation as to why I'm smelling that with rice.
yeah, you could make a crafts check. If I remember right, your class lets you do like all crafts as I'm awesome, basically.
Yeah, I took an advantage for that.
Perfect.
Okay, so it's going to be 37.
37? Okay. With a 37, you would know that there is no logical reason to ever tan hide and have rice in the same room. It just doesn't make sense. And you look around, and there are no tools to be tanning hides in here. There would be like a pit where the meat and castings would go, and then there would be like a drying pit for the hides themselves, which would be a fire pit thing. And there's just nothing that supports that inside this room. You haven't actually entered the room, by the way. You're just at the door frame.
Okay, I'll go in and give it a closer inspection.
Okay.
And close, yeah. So, then
As
I'll
you
see
come
where
in-
the smell is coming from.
Yeah, as you come in, the smell gets a little stronger as you get closer to the shrine. And when you look at the shrine, there are names that you would normally see on an ancestral shrine, but they have like markings on them. Like where letters should make sense, somebody has like taken a knife or something sharp and carved into it and tried to forcibly change the letters to look like other things. And the things that they've changed it to don't make sense. Like they don't form words, they're just letters. There are no incense, no proof that incense have been burning recently, and usually an ancestor shrine usually has something like that. But there is a porcelain bowl that is sitting at the ancestor shrine, and there seems to be some sort of like liquid in it, and it's a dark color.
Can I try to figure out what it is?
Also there's a kneeling pad in front of the shrine.
Okay, so given that's a shrine, would I take it that this is some sort of offering to the shrine that someone left?
It absolutely could be.
And is it what the smell is coming from?
Yeah, as you get closer, it becomes just as bad as visiting a tannery. So like you instinctively bring your sleeve to your shoulder to your nose because it just smells so foul. And now that you're closer, it's not necessarily like a tannery smell, which is usually like fire and hide kind of smell. It's the smell of death, like really old death, like the casting pit would smell of.
Do I know of it as being some sort of natural byproduct of some sort of craft? Or this is something just totally different?
Um, you don't know of any crafts that would create the smell of death, to be honest. Um, the only thing that you know of that really creates the smell of like a dead animal or person would be killing a person or animal.
So this is really bad stuff. I will take note of all the inscriptions and what got crossed out and what got put in. Is there too much to memorize at a glance, or am I going to have to write it down?
Yeah, you'll have to take a moment to write it down, which is fine. You're not going to be stopped or anything like that. Go ahead and give me an awareness check after you're done with that.
I fully plan to go over this and see if there's some sort of code in it later. Sure. Awareness. Not my best roll. Just my awareness stat, no skill. It's going to be 7.
7. Okay. You can't tell if there's any sort of pattern to this at all. Just kind of quickly glancing over it as you write it down.
Yeah, I'll have to put more effort into it. Like,
you could definitely do like riddles and puzzle checks later to figure it out.
Okay. Do I see any sort of container nearby I could use to take a sample of this liquid?
No, you don't.
Okay, and I really don't want to touch it. Okay. How big are these things of rice that have the dot on them? If I were to.
They're a koku each. So there are 5 kokus that are black dotted, and then there are 3 that have no markings.
How big are the kokus? Like,
A
am I able to
koku is
carry them?
essentially the size of a small barrel. You can
Okay.
carry it. It's fairly easy.
But it easy to carry, but hard to hide.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay. Is it possible to open one and then reclose it to make it look like it was never opened? Or
Yeah,
it
they're
torn
they're tied
open?
with kind of a twine, and you can undo that twine and kind of unroll it, and then once it's unrolled, you kind of unfold it, and that's where all the grains are. It's kind of like a weird sleeping bag rolled up kind of thing is how they transport rice.
Okay. I'll take a. Are there any smaller sacks in the room?
No, they're all the same size.
No, I mean just anything I could use to hold these. If not, I'll just take some. Trying to think.
Are you talking about the
character-
rice kernels?
Yeah, I'm going to actually take some of it.
Yeah, okay.
Thank
So
you.
once you open it up, you start kind of looking at the rice kernels and looking around for something to put it in, and then it suddenly dawns on you that these rice kernels have a little tiny black dot on them.
From the farm. And they know that they're bad. Okay. I'll still take a small sample.
Okay.
I'll wrap it up in some cloth. Like I'll tear some off my kimono if I need to.
Actually, the easier thing to do would be just tear a page out of your journal and just make a little paper envelope.
That works. And I'll also take a control with the non-dotted rice.
Yeah, absolutely. That rice comes out. It is pure white, no differences on it. And that's pretty much what you see inside this room. Are you going to do anything else in here?
No, if I don't see anything else, I'll keep it at that. I don't want to touch that liquid. That's
Okay.
bad juju.
Absolutely. So you kind of seal up this room, coil up the koku again, and as you're looking through the other rooms, you didn't notice it before because you weren't really looking for it. Each of these rooms, the kokus of rice that you've seen, the couple hundreds that you've seen now, they've been marked with black dots.
So the only pure ones are the ones that were in that room?
There's another 2 rooms that have pure ones, that just like they're stacks of pure ones, a couple hundred, like let me see here, like 400 kokus are clean inside one storeroom, but the rest of them that are stored inside the house have black dots on them. It also occurs to you that you've never looked at the rice that you've been given the food that you've been given here. You've never actually inspected it.
Okay. Once I have a feeling I've pretty much found all the rice rooms by now.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I'll also take note of how many koku I found generally, just a nice round number, and I'll keep going. I'm going to end up going to Lord Otomo's area if possible, like the Phoenix suggested.
You found about 2,000 koku, which would be enough to feed the city for quite some time.
But it's almost all of it's tainted except for 200 koku.
Well, it's marked. You don't know necessarily 100% if it's tainted or not. The villagers told you they think it's tainted, it's bad rice, but they don't know that it's tainted.
Okay. I will go do what the Phoenix requested of me and see what's going on there, and on my way, if possible, I'll swing by the kitchens to see if the food that's being prepared is of this marked rice.
Okay. Yeah, so on your way back, because the Phoenix just basically asked you to stand watch at the door, is all.
Right.
And make sure that he doesn't leave his room until they've thoroughly investigated. So you head to the kitchen, and they don't have food that's prepared at the moment, but if you ask for food, they'll prepare you some.
That works.
Okay. They tell you, Sisan, we will take it to your guard post. And after a few minutes of you arriving, one of the servant boys will actually come up and he'll give you your bowl of rice, and he'll fetch a small table from down the hallway that had a vase on it. He'll take the vase down and put it on a table next to you, and he will say, "For you, Sisan, I apologize about your wait." And he'll bow deeply, and then he'll walk away with the vase.
Wait, so did they already know I was going to be there, or are you going off of me telling them I was going to be there?
So they are aware that you're supposed to be on a guard duty. The house is. House staff pretty much know everything all the time, and that's
Okay.
not terribly uncommon. So
All right.
once he's left and you've had a chance to look at this rice, you look at the cooked rice, and there are little black dots on the kernels.
Okay. I'll put that to the side. I would have also requested some. Did we see that the fruit here was okay to eat earlier? I think someone requested it.
You guys have 8 different foods here, and you all had terrible nightmares, and then you decided to stop eating the food in the castle.
Okay, so never mind that. There's no one outside.
Yeah, they would have brought you some fruit and some rice, because that's what they would have had at the moment, and some nuts. The fruit and nuts don't appear to have anything noticeably different about them, but the rice does have the black dot on it.
So I won't eat anything, but there's no one else posted outside Otomo's room. It's just me.
No, there are guards. They just asked you because they trust you to
Okay.
post up in front of the Otomo's room.
I'll ask the guards if Lord Otomo has proper medical attention.
Lord Otomo is sleeping at the moment. He awoke after fainting and was escorted back. He had medical attention at the time, but he requested to go ahead and go to sleep. He was determined to not let tomorrow's treaty signing be hindered by tonight's fiasco.
Yes, I'm worrying about that as well. But I came upon some strange discoveries from the incident in the courtyard, and I fear for his health.
Mhm. Very well. Allow me to wake him for you. And the guard will knock on the door, and he'll open it slightly, and he'll say, Lord Otomo, Sisan wishes to check your health. He has made a discovery and is concerned for your well-being. There is no response. After a few moments, he'll say, Lord Mayor Otomo, do you hear me, sir? And he'll kind of crack it open a little bit more. And then after just like a second, you can kind of see like this realization on him because his shoulders will drop down just an inch. And then he'll throw the doors open and the room's empty.
I'm considering whether to keep this quiet or to have them put the house on full alert.
Both guards enter the room and start like poking around.
I will do so with them and see if I can find anything conspicuous.
One of the guards will go over to a wall, and he'll kind of think about it before he does anything. Then he just pushes on the wall, and a panel slides back and over. There's a passageway in there.
Crap. I don't want to get killed by a ninja.
Passageways like this in castles are super common. You know, as a craftsman, like whoever built this place would have pretty much been required to put secret passages all over the place.
Do I know where the magistrates are?
Yes, they're in the courtyard. They've kind of established their HQ there. You know that the crane, Daidoji Kogori, is actually posted up out there due to his health, which has given him problems over the past couple days. He's pretty much staying there and being the person coordinating things.
Okay, how long does it take down to get to the courtyard if you hurry?
Not long. His room actually opens up right to the courtyard, so you can just kind of jump off the little balcony area, and you're in the courtyard.
Okay, but I would have to go through the house again to get back there.
No.
I will. Oh, okay. I can come back the same way.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I'll do so, and I'll have the guards stand watch at the passageway. I'm getting the magistrates to help us.
Very well. So you head over there, and Kogor is doing some paperwork, and he's got some papers spread out in front of him, and he's got his ink wet, and he's brushing down some notes. When you come up, he looks up and he kind of bows his head just slightly, and he says, "Sisan, what can I do for you?"
It's urgent. And no one else is around, right?
No, it's just him at the moment.
Okay. Lord, I just reached Lord Otomo's room. He's escaped through a secret passage.
The crane puts his brush down, and he pushes his chair back and stands up, and he says, "Very well. I was afraid of this."
And also, I've made a discovery that one of your Shugenja might be concerned with. A foul offering at a shrine.
As if we didn't have enough to worry about. He pulls out a small whistle. It appears to be made of jade, and he blows in it. There are 8 crane spearmen that show up, and he says, "Take my spearmen with you. We brought them from the Doji house, or excuse me, the Daidoji house, because we were expecting to have to make an arrest tomorrow. But I think this will help in your chase. I will get the Shugenjas. What room should I send them to?"
I will tell him the correct room.
He goes, "Very well," and he starts coughing, and you see him take his hand up instantly to his mouth, and he tries to pull his hand down without you noticing, but he actually touches his kimono, and you can see that he's streaked blood on his kimono.
My aunt will be most upset if you if you dirty that kimono.
Stop it. Okay. He will look embarrassed, and he will kind of take the kimono and try and fold it over so that you can't see the stain anymore.
Mm-hmm.
And he looks down and he says, "Of course." And he goes, "Take these men. I will seek out the Phoenix."
Mm-hmm. That was just
And he
my way
walks-
of trying to tell him that he had it there, so he didn't go walking around with it.
He walks away. By the way, that was very blunt. I have to warn you.
Oh, sorry.
No, it's fine. Unfortunately, it will cause you to lose 0.1 honor.
Okay. I was trying to be not blunt about it.
Because of how you addressed it, his spearman turned and looked and saw the blood, is the problem.
Oh, okay.
So,
I thought I was still just talking to him. Okay.
no, they were on scene. The spearmen are waiting at your beck and call at this point.
Okay, I will bring them back to the room.
Okay, they see the tunnel, realize their spears are not going to cut it in this thing because it's a pretty small tunnel, and they just ditch them.
Yep. And
They start going down the tunnels. Are you going to follow them down the tunnels, or are you just going to let them go through the tunnels themselves?
I'm going to accompany them.
Okay. So they're going to come out, and there are going to be branches along the way. How do you want to handle those branches?
Oh, first I will also let one something I forgot. I'll let the what's he called? The magistrate to let my companions know what's happened with me when they come back.
Yeah, you can tell the guards that.
Okay. Branches. So, what are the spearmen? Are they splitting up, or how are
No,
they?
they're waiting for your instructions. Once they get to the branches, like there'll be one that goes straight, and then one that is on the right.
Is there any difference between the two?
They both appear to be hallways.
Okay. Do I have any sort of bearing of where I am? Am I under the house?
You're not
Or-
entirely certain. You know that you went in one of the walls, and the way that this was set up, it's actually a little bit labyrinth-like. It's a little confusing down here.
This might not have been a good idea. Okay.
If you were to turn around, you could go straight back to the bedroom because there hasn't been any real spots to get you mixed up before this point.
Okay. Actually, I'm going to tell them to wait a moment, and I'm going to go back to the bedroom and look around again for hiding spots. Maybe he had something to tell him where he needed to go, since this is... I'm guessing this... Well, I didn't hear about the underground part of the city, did I? Do
No.
I know of rumors about it from being here?
Yeah, you would have heard that there's been a discovery of leading to some ruins underneath the city, but nobody has. There are supposed to be cartographers that are mapping it, but that's all you've heard of it.
Okay, I'll ask the two guards if they managed to find anything strange while they were looking there, and I'm going to start looking at places, like considering that he had a sliding panel, places that I would think that secret compartments might be, or little trapdoors.
Inside the room?
Mm-hmm. I can make
Okay.
a check for that if you'd like.
What are you going to tell the spearmen to do? Are you going to tell them to
Oh.
stay together or split up or...
Uh, to stay there for now, and I'm just going to take a quick look in the room again.
Okay. So, looking through the room, you do find thank you, buddy, a false panel that opens up, and underneath that panel you can see that there was a sword rack. There is no weapon currently in there.
All right. I feel like I just kind of stumbled on something that we're supposed to go do as a party. That's why I'm slightly reluctant. What time of day is it?
It's about 2 a.m. at this point. Sorry, 3 a.m.
Okay. I'm not expecting them back for a while, I think. I'll go back and we'll test one of the passageways. We'll go right.
Okay. So you go right, and after a little while, there's 3 branches, one left, one right, one center.
This isn't going to work.
You, since you've been trying to pay attention to it, you feel like there's been a slight incline or decline as you've walked around.
Okay, it
But
is going
it's
down.
very slight.
I'll start inspecting the passageways to see if there's maybe hallways that are more worn down, if there's anything different on the walls, anything that can give me any clues.
Okay. It appears that these passageways are fairly clean, so there's not like dust to give away footprints. They are smooth stone and they have no real defining characteristics. Sorry, that's how they design castles. I can't help this.
I know. Just, I'm not finding anyone in this. I am realizing.
It's one of those things that only the people who were taught how to navigate this place probably know how to navigate it.
I need to find someone who knows their way through here. I'll tell the guardsman I fear this is a fool's errand. And I'll look to their opinion.
We can split up. There are 8 of us. We can send one back to the previous branch.
Yes,
we can
and
report back.
I am going to go into my kimono and actually bring out my calligraphy set, and I will give them all inks. Do I think there's enough to mark a bunch of passages?
It's not that there's enough, but you have enough ink, because ink's in kind of like a stone form, that you can just break off chunks for each of them.
And just like use it like chalk on the
Mm-hmm.
on the wall. So I'll pass it amongst them to mark their way so they can get back.
Yeah, they do, and they start kind of splitting up.
And yeah.
Two will
And
go down that
there'll
first
be a
passage.
time where we actually come back and reconvene. Otherwise, it's going to get. We're never going to know who found what and when.
Absolutely. So 2 will go double back and go down that first passage, and then 2 will go down each of these 3 passages that you found here. After a few minutes, you'll hear a scream coming from down the hallway.
Great, they're trapped, and I'll take one of the guards. I'll take the guards and go inspect it.
The guards have already split up.
Oh, okay.
So the scream you heard come from that first passage, the way that was straight. You decided to take the right instead. The straight way, that's where the scream came from.
And all the guards went off all the way. I'm going to try to help the guy. I'm going to go towards the scream.
Okay. So you go that way. There is a man who has been smashed. A stone slab has fallen from the ceiling, and it landed on his legs, crippling him. It looks like he was stabbed through with a sword, though. The other guard is missing. If you had to venture a guess, he was probably mercy killed.
The other guard kept going.
Yep.
And
where the slab fell, there's actually a passageway above that.
there's a passageway that goes straight up,
Yes.
and that wasn't there before the slab fell. It just made a hole
The
in the
slab would have covered it. The slab also has a metal hook on the back of it.
Oh, it goes back. So, but there's nothing connecting it to the ceiling?
Nope.
If I were to stand on the slab, would I be able to see into the passageway?
Yeah, if you stand on the slab, you can kind of hoist yourself up into it, because there's a ladder well up there, and you can see that there's a line inside there where that hook would have connected to. And basically what it looks like is you can pull down that line, reconnect it to the slab, and hoist up the slab to seal up the passage you are climbing up into, and it would reset the trap underneath it.
Is it an actual passage that keeps going, or is it just to house this?
Yeah, there's a ladder well that goes up.
I'll go up.
Okay. So as you go up, there is a hatch at the top of the ladder well. It does not appear to be locked, and it's just kind of a lift and go hatch.
I'll listen if there's anything on the other side of the hatch.
Yeah, you hear kind of a scratching sound, like a light scratching sound.
I keep having these moments where I want to go back, but hey, I'm a samurai, and I don't know if this is going to go anywhere, so I have to inspect. I will, if I don't hear any words, I'll lift it a little bit and see if I can see anything.
Okay, you hear flapping sounds, and like some feathers fall to the ground when you kind of break open the hatch. So the way that the building roof is structured, there's like terraced roofs. Basically, there's like a roof here, and then a little bit higher, there's a slightly smaller roof. But there's like a space in between, and usually birds get in there. This hatch opens up. It's about a 3-foot clearance, but it puts you at one of the roofs.
Okay, how big is the space up there?
It's about 3 feet high. It's not much of a clearance. You'd have to crouch to get your way through there.
Okay, can I see what the purpose of this little space is, or
Yeah,
there's no more?
To get to the roof to get out of the building if you need
Oh,
to.
okay.
But I mean, without exploring the roof, you don't know if there's a way
Yeah.
off the roof.
I'll take a look at what's on the roof.
Yeah. So you look around. What catches your eye as a possible means of getting off this roof is there are lines of like a rope lines where paper lanterns are hung from each of the 4 corners of the building that go out to the side walls. There's one that actually goes out to the side wall from here that you could actually throw some sort of like sash or leather and slide down it.
This place is just a ninja den. Okay, I'll
It's
go
not a
back
den
down.
of ninjas. You haven't found more ninjas, so it can't be a den of them.
They can't be seen. Come on.
So
I
that is
can
one
assume.
corner, because you started in one corner. As you kind of circle around, you find one that the lanterns are gone, and you look to the ground, and there's a bunch of lanterns littering the ground.
Oh, someone's used it recently?
That's what it looks like. This line also extends past the wall.
How much longer do I...
I should say.
How much longer do I think I have until... how much longer until the rendezvous to go back to the start?
About an hour.
Okay, what part of the town does the line go to?
It dumps out in the lion quarter side. So it actually goes across the river to another building.
Okay. I'll go back down and I'll leave a note for them at the rendezvous point saying that I made my own discovery, and I'll say what part of town it went to.
Okay.
And to follow their own if they have their own lead.
Okay. So yeah, you head back up. What are you going to use to traverse this rope?
How long do I think it would take me if I went there on foot?
If you went by foot, it would probably take you about 30-40 minutes. If you went by line, probably just a few minutes. You know you want a zip line.
Zip line.
Let me look at my character sheet.
There is no looking. There is only zip line.
Okay. Okay. We'll do it. Is there anything I can use on the roof? Any?
No, there's nothing on the roof, so you'd have to bring something up there with you. However, you do have access to something because you guys were heading out. You could throw your katana over there and use your katana as the bracing element. Or at least the case, I should say.
It looks like that would work.
You think it would work?
Okay. What about
You're fairly confident that a sash would not, or a silk kimono like the obi, the belt part, would not be enough.
It wouldn't hold me, you mean? Or
You don't think it would last long enough to get you to the other side of the river? You think it would probably tear somewhere along the line?
Can I make some sort of check to see if I can come up with some sort of safety thing I might be able to
Craft
to make this a little safer? Maybe a craft
Like
check.
a rope harness?
Yeah.
Sure. But you would need rope.
Have I seen any rope recently?
There's ropes tying up the other three corners, but they are attached to lanterns and the walls.
Is there any slack that I can pull on and get some of the rope?
No. I mean, there's enough slack for you to pull and get like a foot of rope, but it's not enough for you to do anything with.
Okay. How about can I figure anything out with any of my clothing that I can use? I might not be able to use it to slide down, but maybe to keep safe.
So whatever harness you build will have to be able to go over the line as well to keep you from falling off. The silk will not be resilient enough to make the whole trip. So you can make a harness out of the bits of your kimono, like the obi and stuff, but you know for certain that it will not last long enough to go through the whole thing. Like the silk will just get destroyed.
Can I use it in conjunction with the scabbard? Would that make it any safer, or should I just use the scabbard at that point?
There is nothing you can do in conjunction with the scabbard to really ensure safety with the equipment that you have available to you.
Okay. Geronimo.
Okay.
I have a duty.
Hey, that's not Japanese.
It's close enough. Am I close enough? I mean, none at all. Yeah.
I need a check from you. Let's see here.
Strength. Because I actually have strength.
Not strength. For some reason, a character sheet eludes me. I
Athletics?
There's an agility stat, right? Athletics.
Oh.
There we go. That's what I'm looking for.
Athletics does use strength, though. Do you want me to roll something else? Or do you want me to roll it with
Nope, athletics.
agility? Okay, just a straight athletics check. Okay.
Well, it's athletics, so you keep your it's roll athletics plus strength, and then keep just strength.
Right.
How it
Okay.
works.
So that's and void, because this seems pretty important. How can I use it again to modify my roll?
Okay. So using a void point, I think we threw it inside the chat. I don't remember.
I think this is the first time we've used one in the campaign so far.
No, we talked about it.
Okay.
Combat, blah blah blah. Void points. I believe we decided that you can. Here we go. You get keep one to skill trait ring spellcasting roll. Cannot use on damage. You can temporarily increase a rank from 0 to 1 to avoid unskilled rolls. You can -10 to wounds received on a single source of damage. You can +10 your armor target TN for the end of round. You can swap places with another in initiative order. You can get +10 on initiative for a skirmish at the end of the reaction stage. And you can activate a special ability where it is noted in that ability. It is on your cheat sheet, by the way.
Okay. So I'll add +1 K1.
Okay.
$28.
All right, with a 28, you go zipping down the line, and you crash and die because that's what you're concerned about. No, honestly, with a 28, you are fine. You make it across the water, and you can hear the rubbing on your sheath, and like the smith inside of you is like, I'm gonna have to fix this thing when I'm done. And unfortunately, you don't know how to use the zip line, so when you get to the other side, you get to the building, and you just kind of like crush into the building, and you land on a balcony that's just below where the zip line post is. The building that you're on, you don't recognize it, because you don't really travel over to this side of the city too much.
Okay. Is there a way for me to make my way down, or is this just a lonely balcony?
Yeah, no, you can definitely make your way down. There's a door that leads to the inside of the building, and it looks like the intent is for you to use that door, or try and climb off the balcony and drop down to the ground, which you could do, but you may risk injuring yourself in the process.
I'll look to see what's... do I hear anything on the other side of the door?
Awareness.
Okay. $13.
Okay. You don't hear anything on the other side of the door.
I'll test it, and I'll try to stay quiet about it.
Okay.
See
So
just
you
what's
kind of
inside.
slowly creep that door open, and inside you see a bed that's empty. There are no lights on inside this house, and it looks like just a plain house.
Okay.
There's not a lot of decorations. Like the place exists, and there are furnishings in there, but there's no like character to it like you would have in a home.
I'll look around then, see if there is anything odd about the place, in case this is some...
Yeah, that's what's
Yeah,
odd
safe
about
house,
it. Is
yeah.
it has no like characteristics to it, but it's it's furnished and stuff. Like there's a bed there, there's a dresser, and there's a little cabinet inside there. There's a silk screen to change behind. There's like everything that you would expect in a house, but it really lacks the feel of a home. Like it doesn't feel lived in at all. Like
Okay.
everything is very uniformly placed.
So this place exists to be an escape from the castle. I'll head out, and I'll still look where I can on my way in case there's something hidden away.
Yeah, absolutely. So you head out, and you are out in the streets. Um, there's nobody really out there. It's the it's the district of the city that the Lion pretty much live in, and everybody is turned in for the night. You don't hear anybody running around. You don't see ninjas or anything like that. See, now that I introduced a ninja, you guys are going to look for him constantly.
Yep.
It's not paranoia if you're right.
There are no guards.
No, no guards.
Now that I know what part of the city I'm in, what's around here, are there any city gates in close proximity?
Mm,
Anything
Not
about-
necessarily in close proximity, but there is a city gate if you were to follow this road to the west, which is one of the gates that you guys have used before.
It's not the gate that they would have used, though, to go out to the shrine? Or is it?
No, they would have taken the south gate.
Okay, I will go to the west gate.
Okay. You go out to the west gate. The guards are present there. And I just lost one of my monitors. The guards are present there, and they are kind of blocking the walls, but they don't seem to care when you come up. They check your paperwork. They see who you are. And they know that you're allowed to walk around, so they let you go through.
Okay. I'll ask if anyone else has passed through recently.
No, sir. Nobody's passed through.
Can I roll this? Is there a sense motive type thing here? Is there any sort of roll I can make to see if they're blind?
Yeah, I think it falls under empathy, actually.
Okay. And that would fall under which trait? I don't have it as a skill.
Give me just a second.
Okay, sorry.
Can you stop it? Here's the skill list. You can do investigation perception.
Okay.
So perception. How much?
15?
15. They don't appear to be lying.
And what do I know is beyond the gate here? Like, if you were to travel out a bit, what do you walk
Farms.
past?
Farms, past that you get to lion country and lots of fields and things like that, low-lying grass, wheats.
Lion type things.
Mhm.
Well, I'm not any use running out there to look for something that probably escaped about an hour ago. But this seems like a sensible place where he might have run across. Okay. How much longer till the rendezvous I set up with the guards? Oh, with the spearmen, rather.
About 30 minutes. You could get back to the castle within 40 or so.
I'll hustle.
Okay.
And
So you get back to
and they would cross my path anyway if they were going to my location. Right.
Yeah, but you didn't tell them to go to your location. You told them that you'd be back and that they should investigate their own leads. You come back.
Okay. I said that that I found my own lead, and if they found something themselves to go after
To
it.
follow it.
Yeah.
So you come back. There are 3 guards there.
Is this all that I've returned?
Yes.
I noticed shortly after leaving that the hallways are trapped.
As did we.
Did you find anything?
Just more traps and hallways.
I found the place that Lord Otomo escaped from. It was there was a passage leading up to the roof that he zip-lined down out of the castle from. I believe from the location where it went that he escaped through the west gate. We should report back to your to the magistrates. Outside a character, what is proper right now to do with the guards that died? We should go collect their bodies, right?
Nope.
No, we have to leave them.
Proper is carry out your mission.
Okay. We will now report back to the magistrates.
Okay. So yeah, you head back to the courtyard. The magistrates aren't there. You would think to go to the room where you discovered the rice stuff, and when you get there, the Shugenjas are cleansing the room by like throwing water around, but they're dragging out the kokus of rice with the black spots on them to the courtyard.
I believe that Lord Otomo escaped through a secret passage going to one of the roofs, and he zip-lined down outside of the castle. I'll describe to them the area where it led to. The fact that the lanterns on that rope were stripped recently, and that it's had a straight shot to the west gate.
Very well. We'll worry about that another time. We have to take care of this rice. The Shugenjas say that it's tainted. That those that have consumed the rice may, in fact, have become tainted as well.
It has been a long few nights. Is there anything else I can do to aid you?
Bring these kokus to the courtyard. We are going to burn them.
Mm-hmm. I will continue to help. And I'll also, if you had not noticed yet, they're pulling from all the rooms, right? They aren't just doing this room? Okay, they discover the rest. Okay, I'll help.
They're just going to burn all of the rice, period. Okay, so you are dragging rice out with a couple guards that have been selected, and the spearmen are helping as well. That's when the rest of the party will arrive to the castle. It is about 5:30 in the morning once everybody gets back together.
Oh, did the magistrate said that the Shugenja knew the rice was tainted, or that that they thought it was tainted?
He told you that the Shugenja have told him that the rice is tainted.
Okay. You will find carrying kokus of rice into the courtyard with a bunch of crane men burning rice.
Yep, go ahead.
Did we not stop off at the Imperial encampment to talk to that one guy, though?
Oh, yep, I'm sorry, excuse me. We are going to go back to you guys, and that's pretty much going to be C's night, and then we'll double back. All right.
At least we lived through the conversation. That's what we learned.
Hypothetically.
Hopefully.
So you have entered the tent of the Tessai, or the captain, and he has made tea for you guys. Tessai Otomo is, like I mentioned before, he's a very large man. Even by like immensely so from Rukagani standards of being a large man. Like, he has the bearing of a crab warrior. He's just a huge guy. He will handle the cups rather awkwardly and attempt to carry out the tea ceremony, but you can see that it has never quite been his forte for etiquette and things like that as he's talking with you guys. He makes kind of small talk with you as the tea's being prepared. Where we are starting is basically when the conversation becomes meat and potatoes.
Lord Otomo, or Captain Otomo, are you aware of the allegations against your brother this evening?
My brother resides in the Imperial City.
He does?
Yes?
Is it his cousin then?
It's his well, they're related somehow. Cousin is the appropriate term.
Oh, excuse me. Your cousin? I would not have said brother. I would have said cousin.
Okay. In that case, he will say, "No, I am unaware."
He was caught. He was caught in. A ninja may have caught him flat-footed. However, due to the quick eye of another, the ninja was discovered. A note was discovered giving your cousin a mission. It must be done tonight.
He breaks etiquette and he says, "I knew he was a fool, but I didn't expect him to be that stupid."
Well, I dare say your family's honor is at stake. I just want to start, involving unstable elements to this whole nonsense. We're going to do this. Let's go all the way. No sense half-assing it, right? Nobody's going to agree or disagree.
Murray likes to stay quiet. These kind of things.
Well, this was out of game. Yeah. So, Chris, does he respond to that? If you're speaking, you're not speaking.
Sorry, I had to get the dog to stop barking.
Mm-hmm.
So you said that his family's honor may be at stake here, right?
Yeah.
Okay. He will curse and grab a sword off the wall. He says, "That damn fool. He was allowing the people to just create a coup underneath his feet, and now he gets himself involved, and God knows, the spirits know what, the ancestors know what."
I would not move your army. It may make the situation with the Iron Fans worse. However, your presence may be a boon. As going forward, you may be able to learn information that the rest of us cannot. Heck, you may be even able to clear your cousin's name, or at the very least, kill him and regain some of the Otomo honor. Man, I'm a scorpion, aren't I?
So
Yeah, that was totally...
suggesting he kills his family is completely inappropriate. I will warn you about that.
So out of game, just real quick, I thought, and the reason I said it is because in that time period, if you dealt with the matter internally, like he killed his cousin to deal with it, it was still considered the
dealt
honor
with
was
internally. Yes. To suggest that he kills his cousin, no.
Oh, well then
You can't be that blunt.
You would just say, then deal with it, or deal with him yourself to regain lost honor.
I do not care for the honor of my family. I am a servant of the Emperor. I gave up my family's position a long time ago. Though, if the Jade Magistrates deem it necessary, I've been told that I should be ready to step in and become the Lord Mayor. Unfortunately,
Jade?
it seems that I must.
Jade Magistrates?
Excuse me. You meant to say Emerald. That was me screwing up.
That's fine. Because I believe wholeheartedly that they are Jade Magistrates. They're fucking around. So. I at least would start making your presence known at Toshi Rambo. Well, this is dealt with.
Very well. Do you have any news on the Iron Fans?
I don't at the moment. I know that they say they fight for the people.
They're ruffians that wish to stir up damage amongst the city and confusion.
Well, the same could be said for the lion that had there, or the crane. It was noticed that the lion was distributing food on the lion side of the water, and the crane side was offered that same food, but the crane said no. So it could be said that they're trying to make trouble as well, both sides.
Yes, but we're talking about Ronin. You know how unpredictable they can be.
It's an unstable element, I agree. But I don't think that they, or at least the thought of what they want, is all that wrong. Peace for the people, and a land where they can live, and some semblance of happiness, though they have the term people confused. But that is neither here nor there.
Very well. I will head to the city in the morning. Thank you for notifying me of this.
Very well. Do you have ponies?
Yes, I can give you some.
Thank you.
Okay. Yeah, he'll give you guys ponies, in which case you'll make it back to the castle at about 4:30. And you will still see hauling bags of rice over to a pile that has not been lit yet.
What are you doing?
I think that was directed to C.
That was directed to C.
Sorry, I found a foul offering in one of the rooms, and the Shigenja of the magistrates have said that all of this right is tainted and is to be burned.
What Shugenja?
The magistrates, and he'll look to the magistrate that told him to do this if he's out there, and if he isn't, he'll just give him the location of the room where they're doing the cleansing.
He's not.
Okay. There's a room in the castle that they are cleansing now.
See, you are very imprecise with your language. What Shugenja? There are 3 with the magistrates.
I did not speak to them directly. I spoke to the crane.
Okay.
There are 2 with the magistrates.
I thought the dragon was also one.
Nope.
Then you were said 2. So
Also,
you don't burn this just yet. You don't know You don't know the level of taint that it has infected the elements. The 4 elements we know about. 1 has been infected. The second one has been introduced into infection. We do not need air or fire to become infected.
Very well. We're just moving it out to the courtyard now.
We should wait to find the source of this taint or discover its cause before you burn it. I realize burning taint is the best way to get rid of it. But if it can be infected, as my master has suggested several times, we should hold on a moment.
I will. They might require aid, and you can voice this to them. Also, Lord Otomo has escaped the city.
Not surprising. I expect through some hidden ways that the Emerald Magistrates were not ready for.
Yes, I discovered a passage leading to a labyrinth of hallways.
My ancestors would be most upset, but not with you, Tsubasa or Sisan. They would be most upset with the state of the empire and knowing that the training of the magistrates at the moment has not, or has gone to the wayside, and they're relying on their natural talents. I'm sure Mirumoto Kaji here, or Mirumoto, is able to provide a better overwatch than what was done tonight. You are not to blame.
If you look over at Mirumoto, he's actually sifting through the rice and looking at it closely. He's looking for the dots specifically.
Yep, they're
You
all
will
dotted.
actually. Yep. Yeah.
He'll like frown and look at like the large quantity of rice. And just sort of ask aloud, "Where did all this rice come from? I mean, I know you found it in storerooms, but where did it come from there?"
That was next on my list. I need to find if there are any sort of records stored somewhere. But yep, these are all from rooms that were hidden in the hallways that were guarded before.
So each koku of rice, to give you a kind of an idea, is about 35 pounds. There's about 400 kokus out here, and they're still unloading them from rooms.
I find this most worrisome. We found one village who had this particular problem, and they were throwing all this bad rice away, or consuming it themselves, as ill-fated that was. So this either says that there's a vast number of other towns who weren't quite as diligent in their duty to provide the best quality of rice possible, or that the rice itself could infect others.
Hence my worry about burning it.
I think that was the role of the shrine they are cleansing now. There was a foul offering that smelled of death in there, and half of the rice in there was unmarked, and the other half was marked and tainted.
So, Kakita, shrine smelling of death, that instantly cries out to you as taint-related.
Yeah. Well, I think I know what I must do. I will be back. How's my face paint? Because that's what I was going to go do. I know that I had it on before, but we've been moving a lot. I didn't know if it's because the crane is very diligent about what it looks like.
So I would think that the paints used by the Kuni are actually designed to last through sweating and such.
Yeah, but so is the Ultimate Warriors. But by 30 minutes into a match, that thing's gone too.
Yeah, that shit's fake. This is Kuni magic shit.
Sorry, I just realized I was muted. You're a little road worn, but you're not, like, bad or anything like that.
Well, then I know what I must do. Please, Sisan, you do good work out here. Don't let them burn it.
I won't. I'll actually look to the rest of the party if any of you can also help. I came across some strange markings on the shrine that I'd like to see if I can find any meaning behind.
I believe I can. I could try to assist you on that.
Well, I'm asking because I did not wish to slow down this task.
Well, I have to head there myself if you want me to look them over.
It might be best for me to just accompany you so I can see the markings there, and I'll get to work on that.
Well, oh, this taint is going to go into the air.
I will instruct the spearmen not to burn it until until they've been told to.
Yeah, absolutely. So, yeah, they just pile it up and they don't light it on fire. At your orders there. You are, Kakita, you are heading towards the shrine room, right?
Yeah.
Okay. When you get there, the two Phoenix are throwing jade into the room. They're using Jade Strike and destroying things inside there, like breaking apart the shrine.
All right. I walk in place. Please stop your feeble attempts at this.
Lose .2 honor.
Yep.
They look at you and they say, "What do you know of this?" Well, Akiko says, "What do you know of this?"
This is what I've trained my whole life for. Rooting out and destroying taint. Finding places where the Shadowlands seeps into Rukagon.
Your tea will not help.
I do not intend to use my tea. What I intend to do is discover the root cause here, understand what exactly was doing. Who made the decision to burn the rice?
I did.
The taint has moved through 2 elements already. Are you so sure that it won't move through the others?
Yes.
And what makes you so sure?
Perhaps in your studies you have never heard of a purifying flame.
I have.
Then you know it is a spell that Shugenjas from the Phoenix Clan specialize in. It destroys all taint.
It should do so, but we've already noticed this taint is incredibly resilient. In fact, it has already tainted several spirits and Kappa. We on the wall tend to be a little more cautious when disposing of tainted items. In the middle of a city, I would expect us to be even more so.
City or not, it must be done. It is our decision, not yours.
He bows, or Toshiro bows, and he says, "Very well, if that is your decision. May I look over the temple before you continue with your strikes? Or look over the profanity before you continue with your strikes?"
She'll look to Akado, and Akado will nod. You can see that there's been a change in kind of the attitude between the two of them. Because of your last little bit with Akado, he's a little bit more receptive to you than he's been the whole time you've been here, with the ninja and everything. There's almost a look of "I'm sorry" in his eyes as you walk in the room for his sister's behavior.
Yeah, totally fine. I look around. Do I see the markings, the clawed out and intentional markings?
You do.
How many
They are
of them
letters.
there?
There are 26 in total.
Do I know what they say?
They're different letters.
Do I have any applicable lore that could be rolled here?
As far as lore goes, the only thing that jumps out immediately would be doing Shadowlands, because you believe it to be related to Taint.
I have that. $33.
Okay. It's definitely related to the Shadowlands. You're just not entirely sure how it all comes together. Keep in mind, your higher rolls don't matter unless you take raises.
Yep. Can I attempt another roll with a raise?
Not of Shadowlands. You could do something else, though.
Spellcraft.
Sure.
Because there's obviously a spell at work to take the rises.
Sure, you could do that.
So I'm going for 1 raise here.
Okay.
$25.
Okay. They don't inherently seem to be part of a spell. Bits of the shrine have been hit with jade, and so you're not sure if you have all the letters or not, though.
Okay.
While he's doing this, C has everything outspread on the floor in the hallway, and he's starting to. I think I can use calligraphy. That's the skill that's used for coding and trying to decode things.
That one or games.
Okay, I will use calligraphy.
Okay.
Is he doing this in the view of other people?
No, I would try to do it away from the magistrates, if possible.
Are you copying?
Just
Near the rice piles.
I know
He's
I
already
already
got
copied
all the letters.
Yeah, I already copied it down the first time he came to the room.
All right. So
That was
there's no, because isn't it copying it? Essentially, you can open yourself up to it.
There is a chance of that, yes.
And
Yeah.
C has no idea. Oh, but I forgot to say raises, damn it.
I believe you can still go for the raises as long as Chris doesn't give you an answer.
Correct.
Correct.
Okay. I give it 2 raises, and I got a 42.
So, actually, incorrect. It does have to be before you drop the dice, because if you roll really high, then you could be like, I want 3 raises because I got 40-something.
Like, I could have said 3 raises there, but I'm confident in that skill. I would have said 2 either way, but I keep forgetting to do that every time.
Okay. I'm not going to allow it because the dice went off first. So you'll just have to do it another time. You kind of play with it and rearrange the letters and things like that, and you're not entirely certain what it's getting at. You form a couple different words, but nothing that seems like it makes sense logically.
Okay. When can I attempt it again?
In another hour, you'd be able to do the check again.
Okay.
So, Chris, before he did that, I was also going to do it because it is a craft specialty.
You can absolutely do that.
I have Cipher.
Perfect. Cipher is actually the best thing to use for this.
So that would be the next thing. If I remember, what does the specialty do for me?
It gives you a +2 to your roll.
+2 dice.
Yep.
Remember your raises.
You get to roll. You get to roll 2 additional dice.
It's
Alright.
2 KO, +2 KO.
All right.
We went over this last time. Specialty, it lets you re-roll the ones.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, we pulled it up last time. I forgot.
Okay. So then
There's
I will
a
use.
version where it was the other way.
I will use 2 raises. That is a 1, so I'm going to re-roll that, and it re-rolls to that. This needs to be re-rolled as well. Okay. So I have a. $35.
35. Okay. And there was 2 raises, so. Okay. It's frustrating. You think you have something, but enough of this thing has been destroyed that you're almost confident that you're missing letters, thanks to them jade striking stuff in this room.
Okay. I will. I won't say anything. I will just turn and smile, and I will thank the Emerald Magistrates. I'll look at her, and I'll be like, I would like to humbly thank the Emerald Magistrates for doing such a diligent job in this situation. If there's anything further you require, I am at your service. If there's... I will be out in the courtyard, and I will make sure that the rice is ready for burning when you are ready.
Okay.
Do you mind if I pay a visit to Lord Odomo's room?
You may. He's gone.
And I appreciate your allowing me to view this room. I would like to repay you in the future for this. And then I will leave, and I will head outside towards the rice.
Okay.
When I come out, I just the fan comes right up, and he just essentially just baka. All he says.
You hear the sound of like snapping timber, and smell the smell of smoke coming from inside the castle.
Yeah, they're starting to burn the castle. They're fucking morons, and I can't do anything about it.
Welcome to Japan.
That's what happens when you deal with the Emerald Magistrates.
Kakita-sama, let's see, we'll call to you, and you see he has a bunch of papers spread out in front of him. I've been trying to decipher this myself, but I think this might be fair knowledge.
Already knowing, he goes, "What am I looking at?"
I copied down the inscriptions.
No, you did not.
I think he did.
He did not. And I look at you and I start taking out my chair.
I put my hand on my gauntlet in my hand. I see you in your chair.
Is there something I'm not aware of, Kakita-sama?
Destroy it now.
I'll do so. Are you sure you don't want to study this yourself? It appears important.
Yes. I don't want to see what you've written down if it's what I think it is.
I thought it would be important.
It was important before the started destroying it on the wall.
So, what C has, because he's very thorough, is he has what the stone tablet said on it initially, and then he has a bunch of papers with random combinations of letters, both the ones that were inscribed and the pre-existing ones, and like 50 different papers all around. Like, it's all over the place. Like, he's rewritten this like dozens of times.
Yeah,
all I hear
taking the land right now.
All I see is
that's all you need to know. That's exactly what Kakita says. He says, "You're tainting the land right now, and I don't want to be a part of it."
I'm a little shocked.
Let me see your pendant. Please take it out and let it just be black and bush.
Do you reach for your jade?
Yes.
So you pull it out of your pocket, and like what you pull out of your pocket is a black goo. Like, it's not even like mush; it's liquefied already.
It's like you literally just reach your hand, and you pull out jelly.
Uh huh.
Great jelly.
Kakita just says, "I'm sorry," and then I jade strike Brendan's character. He looks at you and says, "Sorry," and then jade strikes you. He's got to know.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm immediately going to find out if he's tainted.
Okay. Deal your damage.
I can't until you tell me out of game whether he's tainted or not.
That's why I'm telling you to deal your damage.
Deal the taint damage?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I apologize. Let me...
Don't apologize. I'm role-playing my character.
Nope, totally fine, and I have to role-play my character. So, I feel like a dick because this is not something I want to do, because this character is trying to be investigative, party-friendly.
It's fine. I mean, this is how the witch hunters pest people half the time.
Oh God.
I found something that needed deciphering. That's what I do.
Yeah, because you have that
60?
fixation qualities. That's why I was like, there's like 50 papers out here.
Yep.
62
62.
to hit on the
To hit.
spellcasting check.
Yeah, that means you cast the spell. You're hitting them.
Okay, let me just pull the school information to make sure that I deal the correct damage.
Jade Strike does not require you to be 100% pure, correct?
It does not.
Okay, just want to make sure. I know there at least there were in previous editions.
But I
spells
have been
that
drinking my
require it.
JT as well, so.
Mhm.
Oh, this is going to be bad. $59 damage.
Okay. So that will come in and hit you. See? Does that blow through your damage chart and kill you?
I've never done damage before. Give me a second.
I have 57. It blows through mine at the very least.
Yeah, that's actually really high.
Yeah,
Stress.
I double exploded.
Just on where it is on the sheet.
If you're looking at the generator, right? If you go to the
Yeah,
main page,
I got it. I go out at 38.
38. Okay. You are unconscious.
Well, that tells me that.
Technically, they have a round to revive you, or else you die.
Would I know how to do that?
put some dirt
Yeah,
in
it's
it.
a medicine check.
That's how you do it.
I have to ask an out-of-game question, Chris.
Uh-huh.
What would Cooney do?
You have no way of knowing how tainted this individual is. You just know that they have a amount of taint. They could have like
They must have
0.1.
one full rank. No, they must have one full rank of taint for the spell to.
Oh, in that case, no damage.
Okay.
Yeah, it's,
yes.
Yeah, if you
The
want to know,
target who does not have a full rank of tank will not suffer any damage of the spell.
yeah,
Okay.
Murdoch.
That's
then
why
no
I said
damage.
when he-
That's why when you asked, does he have any taint? I answered the question honestly. Which I shouldn't have done because I've been trying to keep it quiet that you guys are all tainted. So you all now know that you have 0.2 taint each.
well,
So
I mean,
add that to your sheets.
I apologize.
There's no reason for me to hide it anymore.
I was. It's part of the spell. Sorry. I will look at you and say, well, at least you're alive. That's good news. That means you're not tainted.
all
By
right.
the way, you are unawares of any sort of effects until you get a mutation of taint or somebody strikes you.
Yeah. That's why I could just say he's not tainted.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. I would pick up one of those jade fingers, by the way, that just flew past you. The horde of them. Everybody else, we should probably check ours. Because I'm starting to think that we may be in bad shape.
I'll pull out my amulet.
I will also grab mine.
And I will show mine.
Okay. You all have blackened amulets that are kind of mushy to touch.
But not like his. which
But
is
not the
like gel.
liquefied.
Not liquefied like his was. He must have been playing with something that was severely bad for him. Sorry, specifically, C, you have 0.4 because you have more
Okay.
than them.
I'll look at C and say, so I realize that you have this absolute fascination and compulsion to touch everything, no
Only
matter what it is.
Interesting things.
Yes, interesting is a very broad term. When dealing with suspected taint, suspected Shadowlands, suspected Mapo, pretty much anything related to what I do, leave it alone. Back away slowly. Get someone who knows what they're doing and let them know. They will come and deal with it. Do not copy it down. The land, I bet if I was to summon an Earth Spirit right here, you tainted the land. In fact, do you want to find that out?
No, that's fine, Kiki-san. Should I destroy all of it, or would you like to study the original?
The original what?
The original inscription.
Destroy it all, please. For the love of, for all that is good in the Emperor's name, destroy it all.
So you could just add it to the rice pile, and it'll conveniently be purged by the Phoenix.
I'll do that.
Attempt to hide it under the rice.
Yeah. I do so.
Okay. Akiko and Brother will come out, and they will cast the Purifying Flame spell and light up the rice. No terrible shadowy gas appears above it.
A terrible shadowy gas does appear.
I
Or
said
does not.
does not. No terrible shadowy gas appears above it.
Okay. No terrible shadowy gas.
They burn the rice and they bring forward Lord Otomo, or at least guards from the city bring forward Lord Otomo.
They found it?
They did.
Alright. Fucking go guards. If this was a different game, I'd run around and give everybody a high five.
They will make him kneel in front of the giant bonfire, and the Akiko will look to the dragon, and the dragon will step forward and he says, sorry, let me grab him real quick because I forget his first name. Otomo Kirino, you've been judged as guilty in the counts of crimes of meddling with taint and blood and Maho magic. You will be given no chance for redemption, no chance at seppuku. This will stand as your execution ground. We found proof that you were intending to spread this rice to the people after the treaty signing as a celebration, that you would send your own people to the depths of hell. And Kirino starts laughing, and he leans his head back and he starts laughing. He starts chanting. Before he even gets close to finishing one chant or one line of chants, the dragon Tagashi Nezero pulls a katana and just slices his head clean off. The katana that he's pulled has a jade blade.
Neat.
He looks over the blade and like flicks the blood into the fire, and then he sticks the sword right into the purifying flames and pulls it out. You can see that some of the jade on his sword has changed shades. It's a little darker, but it's not like mushy or anything.
You must go through those a lot.
Not as often as you think.
Such
No.
a blade would take months of masterful expertise to craft, so I would think not.
It's a quite slow process to craft jade into a weapon. It's not necessarily hard, but you have to work very soft with it, or with it. So
The guy you take many, many months to perfect one blade.
he'll sheath the blade and he says, "No, it has been with me for a while. This is not the first thing that it has destroyed."
May I lure Shuginsha and try to see what he was chanting? Or spellcraft and try to see what he was chanting?
Spellcraft.
$26.
26. Okay. So it is you kind of start going through the spells that you know, like even though you haven't made it to the rank that you would know other spells, you're taught generically what different spells are and things like that. And so you have a good understanding of most different types of spells that are out there. This spell is one that you do not recognize. And that kind of makes you think that it may have been Maho.
Okay. I will. I'll look at the Shugenja, and I'll say, I believe that the lands here have been tainted by someone that did not know what they were doing, and entrusted with something that was beyond their ability to understand. I believe we should commune with the earth spirits and see if such a thing was done. And if so, we should attempt to banish those evil spirits so they don't continue to taint.
I'm sorry, what was your total for your spellcraft? Because I may actually have more information for
26.
you. 26. Okay. Yeah, you know it's Maho, and there's a range of capabilities that Maho can do. One of which is resurrection.
But there's also a good resurrection, too.
There is, but it's quite rare and almost impossible to do.
Except it was pulled off.
The Maho one is much easier to do, but it's much more vile. And that person's pretty much gone forever once they resurrect like that.
I'll look around and then I'll stop and say, damn it. He was casting a spell of Maho. Does anybody here know what spell that might have been?
The crane will look over to the Phoenix and he'll say, I can recite it.
Oh.
The Phoenix will kind of look to each other, and you can see that they're trying to decide if they should make the crane recite it. You haven't learned much about the crane, but you have just now learned that he has eidetic memory.
Yeah. I'll remember. So I assume that after Cooney was resurrected, he went through a lot of research about resurrection and things like that.
Mm-hmm.
I would like to.
Curious, yeah.
I would like to use a raise and re-roll the spellcraft on that to think about it. Now that I'm thinking, he's going to recite it.
You may spend a void and re-roll, but and go ahead and choose to get raises, but you're not going to get a free raise out of the void.
Okay, so then I will do that, and I will ask for, or I will try to get 2 raises. $34.
Okay. With a 34, you recall the books from your early days of being a student that Cooney left you in the library to kind of study on your own in the early days.
I assume he was very hands-off in that manner.
Because he was very hands-off, especially in your early ranks, or early lessons. It wasn't until you could actually start putting together spells on your own and showing him that you had something to offer before he really took you on, because he just had other things that kept him busy. And one of the books that you came across, and you really remember this memory vividly because it was the one time that you really remember him getting angry at you, is you came across an old notebook of his, and inside it listed some different spells and things like that, and one of which he put as minimal detail as he could in there, but he did use the word Maho, and that's what's bringing your memory back to it. You remember a spell that he referred to as Death Beyond Life, and you remember that there was a little bit of scratching about how a caster would put it on him and it would protect him, that if he should die within the time that the spell was on him, that he would resurrect. but there was no notes on exactly how to stop the resurrection. But it did look like there was a way to do it. The reason you don't remember it is because when you were looking through that book, that's when Cooney came in and he saw it and he slammed the book closed and took it from you, and you were actually punished and had to sit in a cell for about a week with no food because of reading that book.
Okay. I'll look at the party, and then I will bow onto the ground, and I will splay my neck, and my hands will go out, and I'll say, "When this is done, please return my chair." I believe he was casting a Maho spell, Death Beyond Life, or Life Beyond Death. It is a spell that protects the caster and ensures their resurrection after they are dead. But I am giving forbidden Maho knowledge to the group, so I'm just waiting for the Emerald Magistrate to be like, "That's a great idea, we should investigate that." Dead.
You have kind of an ace in the hole. You studied underneath a witch hunter. So you having that knowledge is not necessarily a bad thing.
Yeah.
It is forbidden knowledge, but they wouldn't expect you to not know.
It's still one of those things, but
you're kind of blatantly broadcasting to guards and stuff like that right now that are in the area. The magistrate.
He's new. He doesn't understand. He's just gonna be. That's why he's playing his life, letting his life just be. So they can fix the problem.
Yeah, the magistrates look around and they'll look to each other, and then the phoenix start to float off the ground, and they start hurling bolts of magical energy, just different elements shooting up rocks. They're killing the guards.
Okay.
They've killed everyone who's witnessed you talk except for the party.
I don't move. I'm waiting for my fate. I will then, by the way, at this point, I'll cross my legs so I don't kick.
Mm-hmm. After all of the guards are dead, since you guys didn't do anything to stop it, they will instruct you to drag the bodies to the fire. I think you're talking, Jeremy, but you're muted.
I said I can't do anything to stop an Emerald Magistrate.
They look at you and they say, "Well, I believe it is time that we drop certain pretenses. Kikita Toshiro to rise."
Okay. I rise, but I still look down. I'm still expecting death.
We are here as Jade Magistrates, not Emerald. Your lives will be spared as you've been a boon to this investigation, but you are not to share any knowledge that Kikita Toshiro has given you this evening. After this incident is over, you should return to Kikita Toshiro's home, as I believe that you all may be tainted.
Does she say home or school? Because there would be a difference.
She says home, not knowing the difference.
Well, it's different. It's actually splayed because it has.
You've got your mom's displayed, but she doesn't necessarily know that you don't call your school home. A lot of people who go to different schools typically live there once they're done with their school.
Is that just a known thing that they live there when they're done with their school?
A large majority do.
Okay, so then I know how to interpret it then.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I'm just going to be like, am I not going to be allowed to die with honor? That's all he's going to say.
You will not have to die.
He's going to mumble if anybody hears it and say, as a tagline to that, what little I have left after this.
Okay. She'll turn to the fire and she kind of looks deeply inside of it, and you can see that she's summoning a spirit. It appears to be a flame spirit, and it kind of comes up and it looks like a bunch of fireflies that have kind of convoluted into a shape, and she sends them out. She says, I know a little bit of what you speak of. There'll be a Kinson that is trying to guide his body to a new host. hopefully our spirits can take care of that.
That may explain when on Lord Odamo's deathbed at the hands of my father's student, he may have been so gravely wounded that the Kensen put that spirit into Lord Odamo.
As possible. It is our ending time here. As before, I'm going to do a little cutscene here just real quick, and then we'll wrap it up. So the camera will kind of fade out with you guys at this fire and this kind of like dark moment. It'll kind of follow the Firefly spirits as they go across the city, and it'll actually pan away. When it comes back into focus, it's actually at the wall. There are two crab that are waiting there, and one of them is smoking tobacco that comes from the burning sands, and he says, you know, it's nights like this that always bothered me. Not a damn goblin even out there. And he looks across, and the Shadowlands just appear to be blank. There's no movement. There's nothing, which is incredibly rare at the wall. The other one speaks up and he says, you know, what they say, quiet before the storm. They both kind of turn and they look inward towards Ryugan, and they kind of nod to each other, and they turn back to where they're supposed to be facing on their post. And that's the end of that.
Mysterious.
So here's a question that I have. Every time I called them Jade Magistrates, they never tipped their hand to me because I kept calling them Jade Magistrates?
Nope.
Okay.
Most Jade Magistrates operate unofficially.
Yeah.
So Subas is missing his forge right now.
Yep, the good old days when all you had to worry about was blemishes and steel. All right, I'm going to go ahead and end the broadcast. Let's go ahead and do some outros here. If you'd like to go ahead and start, Brennan.
Sorry?
If you'd like to go ahead and say goodbye.
Goodbye. See you next week.
All right. If anybody has any announcements, Jeremy, you got anything?
No announcements, really? I mean,
Okay.
Bye, I guess. Bye.
Murdoch?
I'm sexy and I know it.
Fair enough.
And also Bender is great.
Tom, anything for you?
Well, I'm going on vacation, so I'm not going to be here for a while.
Yes,
So.
that's actually going to be my announcement. Is unfortunately there's going to be some vacation, so for the next 2 weeks I will be putting off this game. I may be doing something in the meantime on Sundays. I don't know if it's necessarily going to be on the channel or not, but I will continue my normal video content. As I talked about last week, Brigade Con is coming up. If you guys have not signed up for it and are interested in doing some one-shots in a 24-hour gaming convention hosted entirely online, go ahead and check out brigadecon.org. Last time I wasn't able to add it to the description of the video because Google Hangouts does like this weird thing where it locks descriptions on YouTube and I can't edit them later. So I'll have a comment on following this video that leads you guys over to that website if you're interested. Keep in mind that it's for Child's Play, and any sort of profits that are garnered through there go 100% to Child's Play to help out those kids getting some much-needed things to keep their minds distracted from, you know, surgeries and stuff like that. So, yeah, go ahead, Murdoch.
Jeremy's thing stayed on.
It did.
Yeah, I
That
know.
was actually pretty cool.
I've been so surprised. It's like it never stays on.
Yeah,
It's like
it stayed on.
I love it. It's great.
Were you doing the Ginyu pose there?
All right, so everybody, Ginyu pose and out.